This is Nearpod. Nearpod is a collaborative tool that you can use within your classroom and even outside of your classroom. Nearpod gives your students a code, and they go to this website and they enter the code, and they are able to access the lesson that you were teaching or the activity that you were doing. So I went ahead and I created a lesson. So here you could see you could create your own lesson in Nearpod or in Google Slides. I chose to do it in Nearpod rather. So I'm going to show you my sample that I made. Hit edit. So you will see that mine is simply on shapes. I'm going to preview it first so you get an idea of what the students would be saying. So from here, I have my title slide, and I have I uploaded a cute little song to go with it that I think is a great tool to use as well because kids love videos. So then from here, I go to my next slide, and I have uploaded a picture of the basic shapes that my students would be learning at this time. I also included an activity. It tells you at the top what the directions are. Match the shape to the correct number of sides. So the students would go through and match their shapes. Okay, so then when they're done, you just wait for your teacher to continue with the lesson. It prompts your students as they go. If it is not student-paced, which I will show you student-paced, they would have to wait for the teacher to prompt them. This last one is a collaborative board you can use to engage your students. So I used a stop sign as my image to show the shape of an octagon. So the topic is shown here, that it is shapes, and then the description is name a shape with the largest number of sides that you can. So your students would start entering shapes that they can, and they would begin popping up. You can have your student's name projected if you would like, but you do not have to. So from here, I'll leave the preview. So say I did not want a slide anymore, I just select it and I would hit delete slide. If I go back, I could share it from here, but I could also change my settings. So I have it set for the subject of math and the appropriate grades. I could add a description, but I made sure to title it. So I'm back at my library, and when I was saying, well, first I have to save my changes, but I was saying before that you can make it so that it's student-paced, which means that the students can learn at their own speed. I think this is especially important for students who are a bit slower of learners, there's nothing wrong with that, but also if it's a more in-depth lesson and you really want your students to take the time on it, you don't want them to feel the pressure of, I have to finish this in a given amount of time. So I'm going to click this, and it is student paced now. So this is just telling me that I don't have the subscription that makes it student paced, but this is great for at-home instruction as well because students do need more time typically for that. I think Nearpod is a great collaborative tool. It gives you the code as you see here, and it tells you can send this out to your students, say, listen, this is due on this day, and then they have all the given time to do it, and all their resources are there. I think I would definitely incorporate Nearpod if I was teaching a higher grade, maybe 3rd, 4th grade, not so much 1st or 2nd grade, just because technology can be a bit confusing to these to kids that young. So I would keep that in mind as well. But I highly recommend using Nearpod in future classroom.